What's up, Enclave? It's Coach Garrett here. All right, back with another video. Hope everyone's having a great weekend, a relaxful Sunday, spending time with their family, getting ready for the week, meal prepping, doing what you got to do. We got 2 weeks left, so let's just dial in, lock in even harder. Let's hit this last 2 weeks of these challenge and get the best results we can, all right? The halfway leader points came in, so you know who you are. If you were in top 10, congratulations to all y'all. Y'all been killing it. I just want to say, I'm proud of everybody for just embracing this journey, the newbies, along with, the people who have been here already. 6 weeks, there's a lot of ups and downs, okay? There's a lot of high points. It could be a lot of low points where you feel like you just want to give up. You don't want to do it. But, embracing those bad times and realizing that, you have that dog in you to still get up, stay consistent, stay disciplined, and, move in the right direction. Just overall be proud of yourselves. Progress is still progress. And, looking at your check-in forms from the beginning of the challenge to this halfway point of the challenge, it does seem like everyone is actually trending in the right direction. You guys are honestly killing it. Most of the scans or most of the check-ins I have seen is that everybody is at least trending in the right direction. Muscle mass up, body fat down. For the few people that still are trending up, I wouldn't stress about it too much, because the few people that I did see trending up in body fat mass and percentage, it's not by even a pound. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's discouraging to see, and you dwell what did I do wrong this week? What happened? But, things happen. Our minds are very powerful. Stress can be a big outlier in why our scans aren't popping up right. So there's a lot of different outliers than really just us staying consistent in the gym and with our nutrition. It's more than just physical. It could be mental as well. So we need to make sure we're also taking care of our bodies in that way. But, as long as you're trending, what I would say, as long as you're trending, and the bar just staying here, it's really not moving up or down, but it's just a little tilt, I would say you're fine. You're really not making any too crazy process. It is good to try to lock in and make that big dip in body fat loss or body fat percentage, as long as you're not making a huge spike up in, your graph when you're in body scan, I would say you really have nothing to worry about. Keep doing what you're doing. And if you do have trouble hitting your macros, which is the most common thing I see as a challenge for people coming up, you just need to start actively thinking why this isn't working, looking at your sheet. If you're overexceeding your fats really fast, maybe shortening down the portion sizes or finding different foods to incorporate so it's not giving you as much fat in a meal. I would say carbs and proteins are the hardest to hit, especially proteins. You want to be really eating your protein after you work out. You really want to be fueling your body with carbs, not exceeding. We just finished macro games, so I hope everyone has that last 2 weeks of the challenge has kind of zoned us in our nutrition. And also remember, in these last 2 weeks, use the resources in our Enclave app. So if you go to the Enclave app and you click on the 3 dots on the left-hand corner, you go to resources, there's a tab for nutrition. There's a bunch of videos that could just explain to you the importance of nutrition, what you should be eating after you work out, which is protein. You need to fuel your body. You got to restore all that trauma, all the stress. You just tore your muscle fibers a lot, stretching and squeezing and moving in that direction. So, it's important to know what you're eating. It's important to meal prep, have a game plan ready, get your mindset right for the future. It's a lot harder waking up and figuring out what you're going to eat. You don't know what the calories you're going to have in your foods, so staying consistent on that, using those resources to gain more knowledge outside of the gym than just, asking questions and stuff. It's great to ask questions, but it's also good to, venture out, and when we're not on the training ground, really try to better our performance and knowledge and growth in all areas of fitness. You know what I'm saying? So always ask questions, either nutrition, working out, form, anything you have a question about. We're always here to help, but also remember there are those resources to help you more about nutrition, meal planning, all that good stuff, right? Also, there's another video in there. Sorry, I backtracked a little bit, but explaining why having a adequate amount of fats, carbs, proteins is beneficial to your growth, because we need all those things to grow, yes, you don't want to over exceed those. You want to hit your macros. You want to hit your carbs and stuff. You will make progress if you follow the process. You know what I'm saying? So really just staying very just zoned in on yourself, and like being aware of every little thing you do in your process is only going to give you the best results, right? All right, let's see. So we are getting into hypertrophy, y'all. All right, it's a very fun week. We're gonna lift the weight a little heavier this week. We're trying to build muscle, 8 to 12 reps. So we're getting less time, more rounds. Okay, we want one more round to build that nice lean muscle. Alrighty. So one thing I do want to stress to everybody in here, let's really lock in on our form this week, all right? Because this week is all about form. To build the best muscle possible, you need to keep that good form. You need to find a pace. You need to find a little tempo. You always want to, like any stretching phase in a movement, you want to go slower, like 3-4 seconds down, and then like come up strong, like control it strong, but like really squeeze that muscle. Think about the muscle, get that mind to muscle connection in, feel the squeeze, feel the stretch, what your body's feeling, engaging, all that good stuff, to build the best muscle. So let's really focus on our form. Let's focus on knowing the differences between movements, such as like there's many different variations to power movements, a power clean, a hang clean, a squat clean, a muscle clean, all that stuff. So, this week, as coaches, I think we'll just really lock in more on you guys and make sure we're doing the movements right. Even if we have to start at step 1, like it's important that we get the mechanics down, okay? Because we don't want to hurt ourselves at the end of the day, and we want to perform it correctly, okay? So again, also, if you have any questions about any movement, you think you're doing it wrong, you see other people doing it differently, ask the question, okay? We're here to help at the end of the day. See, stay locked in, avoid temptations, understanding mechanics, macros, resources, midpoint, every tracking, distractions. Okay, there we go. And yeah, I think that about covers it for today's video. Like I said, you guys are killing it. Keep making this progress. We got 2 weeks left, y'all. Alrighty. We have 12 days of sessions left, all right, in this 2 weeks. 14 days left total in the challenge, all right? Make sure you get your scans. Make sure you check in, alrighty, so you can be placed on that leaderboard if you make it, all right? If you do not do your last check-in, you will not see your name up there if you were one of the top 10, okay? So make sure you are following the process, doing your in-body scans on the same day every week, and checking in, y'all. Alrighty, let's finish strong, and I can't wait to see y'all on the training ground later.